This is a continuation of the Test 2 review questions. We're going to pick up with question number 6, which says, describe the system of equations. So they want you to tell whether it's independent, dependent, or inconsistent. Again, it doesn't specify what method to use, so you can choose. I personally like to use the addition method, but this time, since I have a coefficient of 1, let's maybe use substitution so you can see a review of that. So I'm going to take the equation x plus 3y equals 11, and I'm going to solve for x. So I'm going to subtract 3y from either side so that I have x equals 11 minus 3y. And then I'm going to take that equation, that piece, and substitute it into the second equation. So when I do that, I have 2 times 11 minus 3y. In place of x, I'm going to put 11 minus 3y. Then I'm going to finish writing out the problem. Plus 6y equals 22. And then I'm going to work through the problem doing the algebra. Okay, so we have 2 times 11 would be 22. 2 times minus 3 is minus 6y. Plus 6y equals 22. Combining like terms, minus 6y plus 6y is 0. So I have 22 equals 22. Notice we have no variable left, and we have a true statement, which means this particular system has an infinite number of solutions, and it is called dependent. Okay. Number 7. Find the slope of the line containing the points. Again, guys, that's a formula problem, okay? So we have x1, y1, x2, y2. Your slope formula, which you should write down and have access to during the test, is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, okay? Basically, it's a plug and chug. Plug the numbers in. So we have negative 3 minus 2 over negative 9 minus negative 7. So I have negative 5 over negative 9 plus 7 would be negative 2. So I have positive 5 over 2. Make sure you watch the signs. 2 positives make a negative. 2 negatives make a positive, excuse me. All right, number 11. Find the slope of the line that is perpendicular. Okay, that's important to notice. Perpendicular to the one that's given. Well, I can't really tell what the slope of the given line is, and the best way to find that is to solve it for y. So I'm going to subtract 4x, So I have negative 3y equals negative 4x plus 21. Then I'm going to divide everything by negative 3. So I have y equals positive 4/3 x minus 7. I now have that equation in the form y equals mx plus b, and I can easily identify the slope as 4/3. But I don't want the slope of the given line. What I want is the perpendicular slope. What you have to remember is that a line that has a perpendicular slopes, they are negative reciprocals of each other. So if the given line is 4/3, the negative reciprocal, which I get by flipping the fraction over, so the fraction becomes 3/4, and I change the sign. So the slope that is perpendicular would be negative 3/4. Right, number 9. If f of x equals 2x to the third minus 5x squared plus 3x minus 1, find f at negative 2. Guys, here again, this is a straight flat out plug and chug. And you can use your calculator. So f at negative 2 equals 2 times negative 2 cubed minus 5 times negative 2 squared plus 3 times negative 2 minus 1. Now I'm going to work it out by hand. So following order of operations, we do the exponents first. So 2 times negative 2 cubed would be negative 8 minus 5, negative 2 squared is positive 4, plus 3 times negative 2 would be negative 6 minus 1. Then we do the multiplication, working left to right. 2 times negative 8 is negative 16. Minus 5 times 4 is minus 20. Minus 6 minus 1. Do the addition and the subtraction, working left to right. Negative 16 minus 20 is negative 36. Minus 6 minus 1. Negative 36 minus 6 is negative 42 minus 1. We ultimately get a value of negative 43. Number 10 says to give the radius and the center of the circle. So if you remember your circle formula, x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. The center corresponds to h comma k. So h here is 3 and k is negative 9. R is going to be the square root of 15 because r squared is 15. So if r squared is 15, to get to just plain old r, we have to take the square root of both sides. So if you work off over here to the side, r squared equals 15. We're going to undo the square, so you get r equals square root of 15, which doesn't simplify, so that has to be your answer. I added 2 extra questions, number 11 says find the average rate of change of f of x equals x to the third minus 9 from x sub 1 equals 1 to x sub 2 equals 3. Really, this average rate of change is similar to the idea of the slope, but instead of having the ordered pair x comma y, we think about it in terms of x comma f of x. So the first thing I need to do is basically figure out what my ordered pairs are. Well, they tell me that one of the x's is 1 and the other x is 3. So to find its partner, we have to substitute that value into the function. So the first thing I'm going to do is do f at 1, which is 1 cubed minus 9. That's 1 minus 9, or negative 8. So my first ordered pair is 1, negative 8. My second ordered pair, which I find by substituting 3 into the given function, so I have f at 3 would be 3 cubed minus 9. That's 27 minus 9, which is 18. So the other ordered pair is 3, 18. And then we use the average rate of change formula, which again looks like your slope formula. It's just a little bit of a different notation. F of x sub 2 minus f of x sub 1 divided by x sub 2 minus x sub 1. And again, we take the values that we just calculated and plug into that. So I would have 18 minus negative 8 over 3 minus 1, which gives me 26 over 2, or simplifies to 13. So my average rate of change would be 13. Now I have 2 additional supplemental problems that I'm going to do in another video that were not on the review sheet, but is something that you may see on test 2.